Ladies and gentlemen, today we venture into the sacred corridors of existence where unseen hands gently guide our lives, the realm of divine alignment, and how the universe speaks to us regarding our soul connections. Throughout history, seekers, scholars, and sages have all understood one eternal truth. Life is not random. The people who cross our paths, moments that shimmer with coincidence, and the undeniable energy we feel with certain souls, these are not mere accidents. They are confirmations, orchestrated by a divine intelligence far greater than our own. Let us begin by recognizing divine timing and signs. Every true soul connection emerges not on our schedule, but on a higher one. We may wait, we may wonder, but when the moment is right, the universe whispers. You will see signs, repeating numbers, unexpected meetings, vivid dreams, seemingly unexplainable patterns, all converging to affirm that something profound is taking place. Recognizing these signs requires a heart that listens and eyes that see beyond the surface. Divine alignment demands trust in the higher intelligence. We live in a world obsessed with control, yet the deepest connections cannot be manufactured or manipulated. They emerge, evolve, and endure under a guidance that transcends human comprehension. To align with divine will is to surrender the ego's need for immediate answers and instead walk by faith, knowing that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, confirms, corrects, and completes every true soul connection in its perfect time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you listen carefully, the universe is always speaking. It speaks in the language of synchronicity, in the music of emotions, in the dance of energy. It tells you when you have met a soul written into the script of your destiny. Your only task is to remain open, remain aware, and remain aligned. The unfolding of a soul connection is never random. It is governed by the profound principle of divine timing and the unmistakable presence of signs. In the greater orchestration of life, nothing of true significance occurs outside its appointed moment. Much like the seasons arrive without human command, and the tides respond to forces unseen, so too do soul connections appear at the precise moment, ordained by a higher intelligence. This timing is not aligned with human impatience or emotional longing. It is synchronized with the broader plan, one that considers the maturity, readiness, and life circumstances of both individuals involved. Many times we find ourselves yearning for connection, feeling as though we are prepared for the arrival of a significant other. Yet, the universe operates on a different measure of preparedness. It is not enough for us to be willing. We must be shaped through experience, honed through lessons, and softened by compassion. Divine timing ensures that when a soul connection appears, both individuals have encountered enough of life's wisdom to recognize, honor, and nurture the bond they are being entrusted with. Without this preparatory journey, even the most destined encounters can falter under the weight of unresolved fears, immature desires, or unhealed wounds. When the moment of alignment arrives, the universe speaks. It does so through signs, subtle yet powerful communications woven into the fabric of our daily lives. Repeating numbers such as 11 encounters that seem too coincidental to be chance, conversations overheard that resonate with our deepest inner questions, even unexpected emotional reactions to seemingly ordinary events. All of these are the language of the universe. These signs serve as guideposts, whispering to our intuition, signaling that a shift is occurring and inviting us to pay closer attention. However, the recognition of signs requires a level of awareness beyond the surface mind. It requires the ability to discern true synchronicity from mere wishful thinking. True signs are not chased after. They arrive spontaneously, often when we have surrendered the desperate need for answers. They bring with them a calm certainty rather than a frantic seeking. A genuine sign does not stir anxiety or obsession. It quiets the noise within and awakens a deeper knowing that we are exactly where we are meant to be. Divine timing is often accompanied by delays that can be frustrating to the human mind, but are essential to the soul's growth. These periods of waiting are not empty. They are fertile ground where invisible roots of character, patience, resilience, and wisdom are being grown. Often a soul connection is glimpsed long before it is fully realized. Two people may meet and feel a profound bond, but are then separated by circumstances beyond their control. This is not a sign that the connection was illusory. Rather, it is the universe's way of allowing each soul to complete individual lessons so that when they reunite, their union is not based on neediness or fantasy, but on fullness and truth. Ultimately, divine timing and signs teach us to relinquish control and embrace trust. The human mind seeks certainty and immediate gratification, but the soul understands that true love and sacred connections cannot be forced. They must unfold naturally, nurtured by an unseen wisdom that knows the perfect moment for every encounter, every reunion, and every step forward. When the soul connection appears, aligned not just with personal desires, but with the grand symphony of the universe, it will be unmistakable. It will carry with it a sense of inevitability, a quiet but powerful affirmation that what has arrived was always destined, always guided, and always blessed. When speaking of soul connections, the most undeniable evidence is not found in grand gestures or external validations, but in the subtle and profound experience of inner resonance and energy alignment. This form of connection transcends intellectual understanding and emotional attachment. It penetrates to the core of one's being, evoking a recognition that feels ancient, sacred, and beyond the boundaries of ordinary relationship dynamics. It is not something that can be logically reasoned into existence, nor can it be forced through willpower. It simply is, a profound knowing that emerges naturally when two souls vibrate in harmony. Inner resonance is the immediate and often inexplicable sense that you have known someone far longer than the moments you have shared. It is a deep stirring within the heart and spirit, as if meeting this person awakens a memory that was sleeping within you. You do not feel the need to build a facade or shield yourself behind pretenses. Instead, you find yourself being effortlessly authentic, speaking and acting from your most genuine self without fear of judgment or rejection. There is a natural comfort, a sense of homecoming that surrounds your interactions. This feeling goes beyond mere emotional compatibility or shared interest. It is an energetic experience where your very life force seems to dance in harmony with another's. In their presence, you feel seen, heard, and understood in ways that you may never have experienced before. Even when words are few, the energy between you speaks volumes. Silences are not empty, but are filled with meaning. Glances convey entire conversations. Time seems to bend. Minutes stretch into eternity, or hours pass unnoticed. This timelessness is a hallmark of soul resonance, indicating that your bond exists outside the constructs of earthly time. Energy alignment is not about sameness. True soul connections often bring together complementary energies rather than identical ones. One soul might carry a fiery intensity while the other embodies a calming stillness. Together they form a dynamic balance that enriches both individuals. The connection fosters growth, healing, and expansion rather than stagnation. It challenges you to rise into the highest expression of yourself, not through force or manipulation, but through the natural inspiration that arises when two aligned energies meet. It is essential to understand that the feeling of energetic alignment does not mean that there will never be conflict or challenge. True soul connections are not free of struggle. In fact, they often expose the deepest layers of fear, insecurity, and unresolved trauma. Yet the underlying energy remains pure. Even through moments of difficulty, there is a pull toward reconciliation, understanding, and forgiveness. The bond does not shatter under pressure. It stretches, adjusts, and ultimately grows stronger. The inner resonance acts as a compass, guiding both individuals back to a place of trust and mutual respect. Recognizing this kind of energy alignment requires sensitivity to the subtle realms of feeling and intuition. The logical mind may attempt to doubt or dismiss the connection, especially if it defies societal norms or expectations. Yet, the soul persists. It speaks through quiet certainties, through dreams, through the inexplicable sense that your life is somehow more aligned, more purposeful, more illuminated because of this other being's presence. In a world that often emphasizes superficial connections and fleeting attractions, recognizing and honoring inner resonance is an act of profound spiritual maturity. It requires courage to trust what is felt rather than what is seen. It demands a willingness to follow the deeper current of life, even when the path is uncertain. When you encounter true energy alignment with another soul, it is a sacred invitation, not merely to enter into relationship with another, but to awaken to the vast, mysterious, and beautiful depths of your own soul. When it comes to soul connections, one of the greatest misunderstandings is the belief that a true connection should be effortless and free from challenge. In reality, the presence of obstacles often serves as a deeper confirmation that the connection is real, significant, and orchestrated by a divine hand. Instead of viewing difficulties as signs of failure, they must be recognized as affirmations, sacred tools the universe uses to shape, strengthen, and refine the bond between two souls. The coming together of two deeply connected souls generates an extraordinary energy. It is a powerful meeting of frequencies that can stir up dormant fears, unresolved traumas, and long-buried insecurities. The stirring is not a sign of incompatibility, but an invitation for healing. The connection acts as a mirror, reflecting back to each individual the parts of themselves that require attention, love, and transformation. If the bond were shallow, these deeper layers would remain untouched. But because the connection touches the soul, it naturally awakens all that must be purified for the connection to flourish authentically. Obstacles often appear as external circumstances, physical distance, differing life paths, or timing that seems misaligned. They can also emerge internally as fear of vulnerability, feelings of unworthiness, or the resurfacing of old wounds. These challenges are not random. They are divinely placed to encourage growth on both sides. The universe does not test us to watch us fail. It tests us to make sure that we are truly ready for the magnitude of what we are being given. In this way, obstacles are not barriers to the connection. They are bridges to a deeper, more enduring union. Furthermore, obstacles serve to refine our understanding of love itself. Many enter relationships seeking comfort, validation, or escape from loneliness. True soul connections call for a higher kind of love, one rooted not in possession or dependency, but in mutual freedom, respect, and growth. The difficulties encountered along the way reveal whether the individuals involved are willing to transcend their lower impulses and rise to the higher calling of unconditional love. They reveal whether love is present for the sake of the soul's evolution or merely for personal gratification. It is also crucial to understand that obstacles create resilience. Relationships that have never been tested can easily crumble when faced with the inevitable storms of life. But connections that have weathered separation, misunderstanding, external judgment, or personal trials develop a strength that is almost unbreakable. Through surviving the pressure, the connection crystallizes into something clearer, purer, and infinitely more valuable. It becomes a conscious choice rather than a convenient accident, an act of will and spirit rather than mere circumstance. The persistence of the bond, even in the face of obstacles, acts as a silent affirmation. Despite doubts, fears, or even periods of physical separation, there remains an inner knowing, a tether between souls that cannot be logically explained or easily dismissed. This invisible thread persists through silence, changes, and transformations, speaking quietly but insistently of a deeper reality at work. Thus, when difficulties arise in a soul connection, they should not be met with despair or resistance, but with reverence. They are signs that something precious is being refined. They are evidence that the connection is not built on sand, but is being forged like gold in the fire of life's trials. The obstacles are not the end of the story. They are the necessary shaping of a bond that, once fully realized, will not just survive the test of time. It will transcend them. There comes a moment in a soul connection where intuition speaks louder than any external proof, where certainty arises not from logic, evidence, or analysis, but from an inner knowing that defies the mind's endless question. In these moments, intuitive certainty becomes the highest authority, a profound recognition that the connection you are experiencing is real, divinely orchestrated, and meaningful beyond what conventional understanding can grasp. Intuition, in its purest form, is the language of the soul. It is not filtered through the fears, doubts, and conditioning of the rational mind. It speaks instantly, clearly, and often with a gentleness that is easy to overlook if one is too busy analyzing. When two souls align, it is not the brain that first acknowledges the bond. It is the heart, the gut, the very energy field of the person that lights up with recognition. There is a calm knowing, a peace that settles into the body, even if the circumstances surrounding the connection seem complicated, improbable, or even forbidden by worldly standards. This certainty transcends the need for logical explanations. It is not based on a checklist of compatible traits, shared goals, or even mutual declarations of love. Instead, it arises because the soul recognizes itself in another. It is the same force that allows us to trust the unseen, to believe in dreams before they manifest, and to hold on to hope even when the outer world offers no guarantees. It is a certainty that says, this is real, even when everything else might suggest caution or doubt. One of the hallmarks of intuitive certainty is the absence of fear when contemplating the depth of the connection. Even if challenges exist, and they often do, the core of the connection feels safe, not because it promises a life without difficulty, but because it is rooted in truth. This kind of knowing allows you to surrender the need for control, to let go of forcing outcomes, and to simply trust the natural unfolding of the relationship. It becomes less about seeking validation and more about aligning with what already is. Another important aspect of intuitive certainty is its consistency. Unlike emotions that fluctuate with moods or circumstances, intuitive knowing remains steady over time. Even if doubt creeps into the mind, even if life events create distance or confusion, the underlying truth of the connection does not waver. It quietly endures beneath all surface turbulence, like a river flowing beneath a frozen winter landscape, unseen perhaps, but constant and alive. It is vital, however, to distinguish true intuitive certainty from emotional impulses or wishful thinking. True intuition brings clarity, not desperation. It evokes a feeling of expansion, not contraction. It invites patience, not anxiety. When intuition speaks, it often comes with a profound sense of peace, even if the message it carries requires courage, waiting, or personal growth. In the context of a soul connection, intuitive certainty does not pressure, manipulate, or demand. It simply exists, unwavering and strong, inviting both souls to trust the journey they are on. In a world dominated by logic, proof, and instant gratification, leaning into intuitive certainty requires spiritual maturity and inner stillness. It calls for a deeper trust, not in another person necessarily, but in the wisdom of the universe and the higher self that recognizes truth when it appears. Soul connections are not contracts negotiated by the mind. They are agreements made long before the mind even formed. Thus, when intuitive certainty arises, it is not constructing something new. It is remembering something eternal. Trusting in intuitive certainty is an act of profound faith, a faith not blind, but deeply aware. It honors the mystery, respects the unfolding, and embraces the sacred truth that not all things of great importance can or should be measured by the limited instruments of human reason. When your intuition affirms a soul connection, you are hearing the voice of the universe itself, whispering that you have found something rare, something real, something eternal. It becomes clear that the journey of a soul connection is not governed by chance or fleeting emotion, but by an intricate and sacred design far greater than our conscious understanding. Divine timing orchestrates the meeting of souls with precision beyond human planning. Inner resonance and energy alignment confirm the connection at a level deeper than words. Obstacles serve not as deterrents, but as sacred affirmations, refining the bond and preparing it for endurance beyond time. And above all, intuitive certainty stands as the silent voice of truth within, inviting trust in a reality that logic alone cannot explain. When we learn to recognize these signs, to honor the wisdom encoded within them, and to trust the unfolding path without forcing or fearing it, we align ourselves with the greater intelligence of the universe. We no longer seek confirmation from the outside world because the evidence lives within us, in our peace, in our knowing, and in the transformative power of love that changes not just our lives, but the very essence of who we are. The soul does not chase, nor does it cling. It simply recognizes, embraces, and allows. True connection is not found through striving, but through surrender to the divine timing, alignment, and certainty that life in its highest wisdom provides. When you experience it, you will know this is not an accident. This is not an illusion. This is the universe confirming, with all its silent grandeur, that your soul has found a mirror, a companion, and a sacred partner in the grand tapestry of existence.